Hello and welcome to sim.bc where it is let's see. Oh yeah, it's just about 7:41. Yeah, because everybody loves to be up in the morning, especially cause since everybody's morning people. No, no we're not. Why are you putting school to begin at like 8:45 when you know that it takes us like an hour to get there because people aren't awake this time. You know what I mean? We're students, so most of us are like between 18 and 21, something like that, especially here at least. We don't function before 8:45. We just don't. I don't understand why they're not putting class at like 10, so that I have to go up at 9 at the earliest. And then they have 3-hour lessons too, which is also quite crazy because who is functioning for 3 hours in a row? It's ludicrous. It's mental. Well, anyway, talking about something that's a bit more funny than going up at 8:45 is what we did yesterday. As we had the class about human resource management and team building yesterday, which funnily enough is the class that we missed last Friday when we were in Barcelona. And funnily enough, one guy missed the class yesterday because he's in Barcelona at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to go at 8:40. I'm going to go at 8, by the way. That's why I'm doing everything at once right now. No, I'm not stressed at all, by the way. Well, anyway. So, what we did yesterday at this human resource management and team building, or rather human resources and team building management class, was that we did the Marshmallow Tower Challenge, which basically means that you get together in groups, okay? You with me? And then you try to build the highest tower with the material that you are being provided with. Now, we had a bit of a twist. We didn't have a marshmallow, which makes the Marshmallow Tower Challenge quite hard. But instead, we had a piece of string, we had some tape, and we had we had spaghetti, and we had paper. Now, did we have something else? Yeah, we had one straw as well. And with this, we were going to construct the highest possible tower. Now, that was all fine and dandy. I think that most people managed to make a tower that stood on its own, which was great. But it was a very and we won, by the way, because we made the highest tower, which was the most stable. Now, to think about it, or rather to add to this, we also had the group with the most nationalities in it, diversity, which I would argue helped our case because there were one group, for instance, that were full of French people, and I bet that all of them knew each other from before. So for them, maybe it was quite hard to come up with ideas because they already had established roles in the class. So what I mean with that is, if you are the jokester, for instance, you're the one who always coming up with jokes. You're the one who sits with your phone, leaning back in class, every class, and you get into a group work with other people who know you as this person. They will not and you might have a super good idea for how to build this tower. One, people might not take you seriously if you are the one who says that this is how we're going to do it because they already have this perception of you not being in this way. Second of all, you might not even mention this idea because you know that you're the jokester and you don't want to risk your position in the group. This might be a conscious thing, this might be an unconscious thing. but I strongly believe that, or firmly believe that that is the thing that is happening. Anyway, so we had the most diversity in our group, and we also managed to build the highest tower that stood on its own, even though the teacher was blowing the tower. Oh, that sounds so wrong. I mean, she gently just blew air on the tower. You know what? Don't blame me for your dirty mind. Anyway, so so that's what basically what we did, and it was a enormously rich team building exercise because we learned how to cooperate fast. We went through the norming, storming, performing, adjourning, norming, whatever. You know the five stages of a group on in like 18 minutes, and then we also we established the different roles. We had people who clearly came up with a lot of ideas, other ones who followed, people who built, and then supervisors, so to say, who saw over who like looked over the production of it all and directed people. I would argue that I was the one directing people. That might just have been my perception of it. What also is quite interesting to know is that many people in the group had different perceptions of what roles people were playing, so to say, and what roles people had. For instance, I thought that one guy was the engineer behind it all, so to say that he came with all of the ideas, but according to him, he thought that another guy came with all the ideas, and that he just restated them. So perhaps I didn't hear the first guy talking about the ideas and just thought that the second guy came up with all of them. So that's also a quite interesting thing that in a group it might not be as clear cut as you think it is, even though you actually try to listen. There might be some things that you just haven't heard and therefore can't understand, and that's why it's good to rely on your team to actually explain to you why you're wrong, in a sense. Or not why you're strictly wrong, but why you have misunderstood something. So, for instance, I misunderstood that he was the engineer because someone else had already told him about all the things that he just restated that I heard, so that I heard it. Apparently, or that was their case. Anyway, then we did Belbin's team roles, a self-perception inventory. And you probably can do this at home. You can probably find this online. It is basically 7 easy questions which you fill in. So you get statements between A to I, so A B C D E F G H I, and you have to divide 10 points between the different statements. The different statements will then contribute to a score which you calculate in the end, and you will see where you are, so to say, which category you firmly belong to. And this is just a general thing. You might be this is all dependent, this is all as effective as you are, so to say. This is not more effective than you are honest, let's say. So I was very honest with myself, and turns out that I have an overwhelmingly part in Shaper, which is basically outgoing, dynamic, thrive on pressure, has drive and courage to overcome obstacles, pushes teams towards action and challenging interior. And my allowable shortcomings is that it can provoke others and hurts people's feelings. Now, I really felt that this is me. I really felt that this is how I am. But the funny thing is that I have tried to overcome these shortcomings. So when I asked my group about it, oh, see, the sun's coming up. Yeah, because I woke up before the sun. So shit. Anyway, so I asked my group, not the group I was working with the tower building, but my group in the enterprise and leadership course, and I asked them, "Do you think that this is who I am? Do you see me as a shaper in this group?" I don't know if they were just trying to be nice, but they were more like, "No, you're a very nice person who looks at all the perspectives. You're very kind, and so on and so forth." And that is me actually playing a role, so to say, really trying to adapt to not act on my shortcomings of provoking others and hurt their feelings, because I know that I can see very clearly how I would provoke people by saying, like, for instance, if someone haven't listened, if I go through something and I ask a question, and it's obvious that someone hasn't listened because I've said, for instance, I've said blah 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 blah. It's not number six. For the love of God, it's not six. And I say, what do you guys think? And someone raises their hand and say, what about six though? And I'm like, it's not six. And of course, if someone questioning if you're just stating something, it's a good thing in a way because you have to explain why. But let's just say that I have provided sufficient information, facts, and support for why it's not six, and we have discussed it in the group why it's not six, and someone still asks, hey, why isn't it six? Then I can be like, well, let me tell you why. No. And then I might actually hurt people's feelings and say things like, you don't listen, why are you so unmotivated in life, and what's your purpose in reality? Why are you even here and take up space? Why do you even breathe? You know, stuff like that. No, of course I wouldn't go that far. I think, I hope so at least. But that's a thing that I can see in the most extreme case. That's probably something that I could say if I'm really angry and irritated. So, very interesting test to do. There are lots of different typology tests that put you into a category, but I would say that this one is, I felt really, I could really identify with the role I was given, so to say. So, highly recommend to do one of these, or do this one, or one of these different methods, especially after you've conducted, as I said, a team building exercise like the Tower Challenge, the Marshmallow Tower Challenge, because then it might be easier to reflect on, oh yeah, this is actually how I felt or how I wanted to deal with the situation, and it might be easier to identify with the role in that case. Now, this was all I had to do for today, all that I had time with. So, yeah, see you tomorrow, guys, and try to implement this in your team, at your work. It might take some time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but it's totally worth it because it might make your workers more have a better understanding of where they are in the team. So yeah, have a nice day, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.